So on behalf of Community United for Restorative Justice and Criminal Justice Initiative, I'd just like to welcome everybody to our celebration. We are celebrating 15 years of grant making to grassroots organizing to challenge the criminal justice system, and 5 years of voice and power of young people consistent impact in Oakland, California. I hope everybody got a plate of food. Our catering is, so just so everybody knows, everything here is community and family, straight up. So even our caterer is my brother Rico Pavon, who is very involved organizing for the liberation of Puerto Rican political prisoners and continues to be involved in organizing for social justice. He's also a very talented spoken word, hip-hop MC, musician, who brings uplift music. So I'd like to share a little bit with you. I'm going to share briefly just about Communities United for Restorative Justice. We are celebrating 5 years now. We were born here in Oakland, California, born out of the organizing against the gang injunctions. So our staff were defendants in the gang injunction. When we began to organize, I'm also a very proud co-founder and member of a little something called All of Us or None. Right? So if you know something about All of Us or None, you know we formed so that formerly incarcerated people could speak in our own voice, right? And so when we began organizing on the gang injunctions, we knew organizing, we had to lift up the voice and power of those young men who were being targeted, right? And it was about first taking them on their healing journey as part of their capacity building, but then helping them learn their real power and their real truth in terms of who they are really meant to be as leaders in the community, right? And so they identified right there in the gang injunction zone, blighted, dilapidated lot that people were dumping garbage on for like 10 years. They've been trashed. There was mattresses, old refrigerators, tires, weeds about as tall as me. And they said, well, that should be a community garden. And it turns out that the slumlord that was operating that dilapidated lot was the city of Oakland, the same city that was targeting our young men, said that they were the worst of the worst, sociopaths, and all kinds of negative stigmas and labels. And the young men had a beautiful vision for their community. And they also expanded that, and y'all can learn more by looking at some of these poster boards too, which tell some of the story of the last 5 years of Community United for Restorative Justice. They started the Aslan Beautification Movement, which is a project of Community United for Restorative Justice. So we've been doing murals in the hood. We partner with people from the community to support the design of the mural. We do block parties to mobilize community, and there's always a social justice issue that's attached to it. So we connect the dots of displacement and gentrification, policing, because policing has really been about trying to make communities feel uncomfortable. Communities of color feel uncomfortable so that we make way so that they can gentrify our hoods, you know what I'm saying? They start jacking up the schools. People talk about the failure of public schools. Public schools are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing by design. Just like our broken criminal justice system, it actually ain't broken. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing by design. You know what I'm saying? So we recognize these issues are intimately connected, and we put out those issues, and we do a lot of political education in the community, and we do block parties, and that's just part of how we build base and build community out here in the hood, you know what I'm saying? So that's one project. We also do a lot of policy systems change. I'm very proud to say we've had a number of bills on police accountability signed by the governor. You know, we decided let's not put an injunction on our young people, let's put an injunction on the police. Yeah. And so one of our bills said that if you can prove a persistent pattern of civil rights violations against a specific law enforcement agency, you can ask and a judge can grant to put an injunction on that police law enforcement agency to force them to do policy systems and changes to effectively address those issues. Before, all you can do is sue for monetary damages. And you can't put monetary value on a life, right? The other bill is police transparency bill. That was actually killed this session. We trying to solve the police officers' Bill of Rights. So if y'all don't know California, police got protections that no other civil servant has, you know what I mean? So all we wanted to do was open up the files of police officers if they were involved in an incident of police abuse to see whether or not there was a pattern. And that was killed in suspense in the Appropriations Committee. But we also did have another police abuse bill that was signed by the governor, and that was expanding Penal Code 141, which made it a felony for a police officer to destroy, tamper, or plant evidence, physical evidence, and we expanded it to include digital evidence. Because our young people were documenting police abuse in their communities, and that was being deleted by police officers right here in Oakland and across California. So we've been able to make changes on the state level, but the work we're proudest of is the leadership development, the transformative healing work we do with young people, to help them find their innate leadership, to change their lives, to find their power. And so we have a cohort called Homies for Justice. They're doing an action tomorrow, and they're organizing Prop 57. That's another state ballot initiative that we're proud to co-author to challenge Proposition 21, which criminalized youth in California. Prop 21 took infractions and elevated them to misdemeanors. Misdemeanors elevated them to felonies, and it said a DA can directly file a young person and try them as an adult as young as 14 years old. And we say that's not okay. So we're taking away the discretion of DAs to do that, and we're moving discretion back to judges. We're also shifting the burden of proof from the defense to the district attorney, so we keep more young people in youth court. And we'll also be able to, with a simple majority, make any future changes to Prop 21 in the legislature instead of a 2/3 majority, which is damn near impossible to get. So we have a vision of really just trying to dismantle and end incarceration, period, but we're starting with our young people. And we're envisioning a place where we eliminate probation. You know, the best indicator, if you really want to predict an outcome for a young person, is how much contact they have with systems. So really what we got to do is prevent them from having any contact with systems, or just destroy those systems, you know what I mean? Just get rid of them. So we want to eliminate probation, and instead what we want is community-led opportunities, resources, and services and programs for young people who need support. And for young people with serious convictions, we've seen a model already that we're going to try to duplicate right here in California. It's not a jail or a prison. It's like a home-like setting. And young people, even with serious convictions as homicide, are able to be in not a lockdown facility, but in a facility that feels like a home, and in a facility that provides them with even opportunities to earn college credits. So we're going to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania in February to go visit that model. It's an organization called ARC. So if anybody want to check it out with us, let me know. Come holler. So that's a little bit about Community United for Restorative Youth Justice. We do have what I can refer to as a culturally rooted, healing informed model. You know, we believe that really the teachings of our ancestors that kept us healthy since time immemorial is something that we're reclaiming, relearning, and returning to. And that really a lot of this stuff that we're dealing with right now is rooted in historical intergenerational trauma. By virtue of who we are as people of color, we got a post-colonial stress disorder. Black community got a post-slave stress syndrome. And then we continue to be re-traumatized by all the social conditions we're dealing with right now, right here. You know what I'm saying? So there's lots of forms of trauma, but healing is key to our model. So I want to just say that much, and I'm happy to just talk more with each and every one of you. Thank you all for being here, and I want to introduce my friend, my colleague, my sister in the struggle and in the CJI circle, Aaliyah Bakivan, to share a little bit about CJI.